From that moment, from the first Mansa Musa, I just hate how much admiration and love we have for Mansa Musa. It's one of the worst Africans that ever walked this planet. But I digress. The black elites, the black merchants, the black monarchs, the black collaborators, successful blacks, enterprising blacks, have always sided with the enemies and the invaders. If it comes down between preserving their wealth and liberating our people, preserving their wealth or destroying white hegemony and capitalism, the black elites will preserve their wealth and status. They would rather fly across a dying planet. They would rather fly across the dying planet in a private jet than sit in coach, to sit in on a plane next to us on a vibrant living planet. It is a sickness. Psychologists and social scientists are now giving a lot of weight to this concept called influenza. People who have an abundance of resources begin to become warped. Having personal wealth makes you less empathetic, makes you more hostile, less sensitive to the suffering and plight of others. It makes you more paranoid. It makes you covet more. So when you become a multimillionaire, it makes you want to get more to become a billionaire. It does not sate. As, who was it? Benjamin Franklin? No, not. I can't remember. But I know Michael Parenti said it. So I don't think he originated this quote, but he said it and he wrote it. The capitalist only wants one thing. The capitalist only wants one thing, and that's more. And we, as a community, as a people, have become quite keen and astute at recognizing warped Africans. So the Africans who pray to a white Jesus, we're like, yeah, that African's lost. That African's, is brain dead. That African's brainwashed. That African's indoctrinated. If an African says, I hate dark skin, I hate my Nubian features, we're so clear on being like, oh yeah, something's wrong. This brother, this sister is sick. If I come online and say, listen, I don't even know African, I don't love him, he's sick. We're very clear on all these sicknesses, but the one sickness we don't identify. If a black man comes on and say, I want to be a billionaire, I'm trying to get the bag, I'm an entrepreneur, I'm gonna open business, I'm gonna own property. We don't see that as a sickness. We don't see that as a compromised mindset. A black person pursuing personal wealth under capitalism, following capitalism's rules. Now, if a black person that comes out with a MAGA hat, we'd be like, something wrong. A black person comes out with a snow bunny on his arm, oh yeah, this black person don't love theyself. It is time to enter the pursuit of wealth and status under white hegemony and capitalism. It is time to label that a sickness on par of rejecting black skin, of being hostile to the presence and communing and not wishing to or having to the ability to commune with your people. Black success is defined strictly as being able to subvert, undermine, challenge, and end white hegemony and capitalism. That's it. That's success for black people, defined by black people. Anything outside of that, any achievement outside of that can't be defined as black success. You can even say, oh, that's a successful person, but it ain't got nothing to do with black. Gone are the days that of us rooting for everybody black. Pro-blackness is inadequate and obsolete. Hateration, as we come to call it, hateration, crab in the barrel, bringing down our betters, attacking our betters, or having just innate hostility and distrust for our betters, is the core and essential component of all positive revolutionary struggles. Every success under white hegemony has entrenched Africans in the system. Black people have gotten more out of spontaneous uprisings, rebellions, and riots. We have gained more from spontaneous uprisings than we have from lawful achievement within the system. What will happen is black people, out of despair, out of justified anger, will take up arms, will either stand up and burn shit down or sit down and refuse to work. And then our oppressors will negotiate and make concessions with us. And when they make concessions, they sit down with Dr. Negro or the Negro business class or the Negro Pompadour class. They will sit down and negotiate what the working class masses, the poor, unwashed masses black people fight for. Whenever we fight and get something, we send in our bourgeois to negotiate. And the bourgeois not only negotiate, whatever material concessions we get, they are in charge of the distribution and management of it, whether that is the African politician or the black business or black not-for-profit. Class consciousness is good, but class antagonism, class hostility, and class warfare. And we love to talk about the Chinese and what the Chinese are doing, and we going to get on Chinese apps, and we downloading Chinese apps to spite America, fascist America. And I ain't mad at you for doing that. Every little bit of rebellion counts. But we ignore the fuck. We ignore how the Chinese went from being a colonized people. You don't stand a Chinaman's chance, being a despised and colonized and dispersed people, to being a regional superpower and an emerging world power. We ignore the hell out of the Chinese Revolution. I hear people talk about China and all these great things China is doing, and they don't know shit about the Chinese Revolution or the Cultural Revolution or the odes, the 5 odes, old thinking. We think we can retain all of our gains in the system and tear down the system at the same time. All the properties, and I literally saw this article that people were sharing about black folks buying up an antebellum plantation and celebrate black people buying a plantation, or black people going. Some black people went west, the most fascist area of Mormon country. Like they went to like Utah and bought like 600 acres of land in the middle of Utah. And as if when this cracker come, and you'd be like, well, Mr. Boss Man, here's my deed. I just got me a deed, and here's my payment schedule. I've kept up with my payments. The fuck that gonna do for you? What did Iraq say from the coup? They don't let black folks own. They just give us this shit on loan. The black elites are not black people with a lot of money. The black elites are not black people with high-scale education. The black elites are the black people at the forefront of challenging white hegemony and capitalism. Black elites are black people who are organizing and maneuvering to wrestle the means of production away. The black elites are those doing the philosophical, ideological, and educational work to create an African worldview and an African social theory, looking to define reality from an African perspective and have it act in a desired manner. Those are our true elites. These black business moguls are not elites. And how many more of these black business moguls, black billionaires, do the white man have to pluck? Asset forfeiture your ass. How many more black Wall Street's got to be burnt to the fucking ground before you know that our power comes from ideological cohesion and organized resistance, not from integration and achievement? I'm not downing any strategy or tactic. I'm not telling black folks to not start businesses, not to go to school and get to the highest degree with limited knowledge, as Willie D. What I'm saying is, don't mistake black acquiescence. Don't confuse black elevation and integration for black power and black liberation. If you are in a privileged, I'm sorry, it's not privileged. If you are pathological and you are in a position to touch resources or to get into spaces where you can have access to insights, information, intelligence, and you're not on some spook who sat by the door shit, we have no obligation to celebrate you. We shouldn't look up to you. If you are out there achieving, but none of your achievement is an obstruction or disruption of the status quo, we have no obligation to celebrate you. You can do it. And by and large, as we cultivate our struggle and as we rise up in our struggle, you are positioning yourself to be an obstacle to our liberation. And conditions are emerging on this world. Not just fascism, not just politics, not just public policy, not just fucking hollowing out any type of institutions or agencies that do anything to help the poor and working class people. But conditions. I'm in Los Angeles. I'm seeing some of the remnants of the wild fucking fire. You can't shoot a fire. Can't put a fire in jail. There are fucking landslides, mudslides, and avalanches, microplastics. There are scientists there are environmental and health scientists literally going to government facilities and chaining themselves to the doors of government facilities because they keep producing these reports that the ecosystem is on the brink of total collapse. And they give these reports to the bureaucrats. They give these reports to the funders, to the agencies that fund the research, to the CEOs, to Bill and Melinda Gates. And the shit gets shredded. The shit gets shelved. Thank you. They get a pat on the head and get sent home. And what the fuck is more black businesses going to do to address that? So anyway, I want to reinvigorate the crab in the barrel. Yes, black person, black individual. You should not seek to rise as an individual. No more escaping the barrel. We must destroy the barrel. We must be socialist, pan-Africanist, collectivist. If you are a black person of means, your obligation is subversion of your class, undermining of your class, committing class suicide. And we are worthy to make the demand. No more worshiping black abundance, no more worshiping hyper-consumerism status. Stop cheering for black people fucking getting gold medals for the United States and the UK. Stop fucking watching the Super Bowl and stop cheering when a black person gets a Grammy. Seriously, come up with our own goddamn awards and accolades. Anyway. Okay, I gotta wrap this up. I gotta leave here at 7:30. If somebody hates you, hate them back. Hateration is a revolutionary sentiment. We're going to weaponize and glamorize hating. We're going to be antagonistic, and we're going to shamelessly hate on black folks who get up there. Got no business up there. Stay from around there. Stay from up there. And we need to start looking at black people aspiring to be multimillionaires and billionaires. The same thing we look at black people who aspire to have European features and light skin. It is yet another warping of our mind. And we've sent literally millions of highly talented, highly intelligent black folks and turned them over to European institutions, doing the bidding of our oppressors and bringing back some scraps. It's time for black people to stop being capitalist bottom feeders. That's that. Please like, share, subscribe. Don't have time for Q&A.